Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the ultimate 2026 seasonal guide for installing a fence in San Diego. Look, if you're a homeowner here, you know upgrading your property is a massive deal. So today, we're giving you the insider secrets to save time, save money, and avoid a huge headache when it comes to timing your installation. So let's just dive right in. A lot of folks think our mild Mediterranean climate means you can just build year-round without a second thought. But is that actually true? I mean, it's incredibly tempting to look at a beautiful 70-degree day in January and assume it's the perfect time to pour concrete. But today, we're going to see why timing your project around San Diego's actual weather patterns, and not just your own calendar, is the real difference between a smooth install and one that gets pushed back twice. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the endless summer myth, those sweet spots in spring and fall, winter rain and clay soil, the Santa Ana wind threat, the summer peak demand, and finally, how to perfectly time and book your installation. All right, part one, we are completely dismantling the myth of the San Diego endless summer and why weather absolutely still dictates your timeline. Look, it's absolutely true we don't have a Midwest winter. We complain when it hits 65 degrees, right? But since our ground literally never freezes, technically, you can dig post holes 365 days a year. But here's the catch, the hidden traps. Even without a winter freeze, your project is totally at the mercy of soil moisture, dangerous winds, and massive demand swings. Ignore these, and you're looking at a structural nightmare. Moving right along to section 2, the spring and fall sweet spots. These are basically your optimal windows to build. When you break it down, late spring, think April to June, and early fall, like September and October, give builders exactly what they're looking for. You get dry, stable soil, calm winds, and lead times that won't make you tear your hair out. Winter, that brings wet, mushy soil. Summer, super dry, but you're going to pay a premium because demand is absolutely through the roof. Spring and early fall are hands down the champions here. To get really specific, May and October sit perfectly in the middle of those sweet spots. They're your absolute safest bets. May hits right after the rainy season dries up, but easily beats that summer rush. October, that gives you perfect workable soil right before the worst of the Santa Ana winds kick up. Plus, they both completely dodge the summer vacation chaos and the pre-holiday scheduling scramble. So what happens if you try to force a build in the winter? Let's get into section 3, navigating winter rain and clay soil from January through March. You really want to avoid these two extremes. On one hand, you've got winter mud. January through March brings rain delays, super soft soil, weak concrete curing, and that famously sticky South Bay clay. On the flip side, the summer rush from July to September brings insane peak demand, massive wait times, and the highest prices of the year. Pick your poison, right? Both just introduce totally different but equally frustrating types of friction to your project. Let's zoom in on that winter wetness for a second. Wet soil is just a massive pain to dig cleanly. And if you're down in Chula Vista or the South Bay, you know exactly what I mean about that heavy clay ground. Saturated clay swells up and turns into this sticky mess. But the absolute biggest deal breaker? The concrete footings. They literally need dry weather to cure properly. Pouring concrete in January rain means you're risking a seriously weak foundation. Any contractor worth their salt is going to delay your job after a storm anyway, which makes winter scheduling a total guessing game. Next up, section 4. Let's talk about the biggest structural threat out there, the Santa Ana winds, which are a major risk from October through April. This is kind of terrifying if you're midway through a build. Santa Ana winds are these intense offshore events pushing 40 to 50 mile-per-hour gusts right through our inland valleys. Think about it. A brand new solid vinyl or wood privacy fence acts exactly like a giant sail. If a 50-mile-per-hour gust hits before that concrete foundation is fully cured, the wind will load the soil and your whole beautiful new fence can literally shift completely out of plumb. Contractors will often halt work entirely on exposed lots just to protect the structure when a Santa Ana is coming. All right, on to section 5, summer peak demand. This is that massive surge from June through August when literally everyone else in the county decides their yard needs an urgent upgrade. As you can guess, summer demand just skyrockets. For you, that translates to the longest wait times and the absolute highest prices of the year. Installers are booked solid. And here's the worst part. If you do hit a random weather delay or a material shortage during the summer, your project gets pushed back way further than it would in a quieter month. Why? Because these guys have zero wiggle room in their calendars. So how do we actually use all this info? Let's wrap up with section 6, the actionable, no-fluff playbook for booking your fence installation seamlessly. If you remember nothing else today, remember this magic number, 4 to 8. That is how many weeks in advance you need to book your pro to avoid the worst of the seasonal scheduling crunch. Now, if you are dead set on that summer peak we just talked about, you've got to bump that up to 8 to 12 weeks in advance, for sure. So here is your exact stress-free game plan. Step 1, double-check your local city permit rules and HOA guidelines immediately. You do not want a surprise permit issue blowing up your timeline. Step 2, target a dry, stable season, like our favorites, May or October. Step 3, lock in your installer 4 to 8 weeks out to secure your spot. Just 3 steps and you are completely in the driver's seat. Oh, and a quick side note, don't forget to factor in your specific property setup. San Diego microclimates are pretty wild. Inland lots face way harsher Santa Ana winds and deal with more clay. If you've got a sloped yard, it's incredibly vulnerable to shifting and erosion if you install during winter rains. And even your materials matter. A chain link fence is super forgiving in the wind, since air blows right through it. But stick a wood post in a wet, wintry hole, and you're just asking for long-term rot. I want to leave you with this one vital thought that sums up everything we've talked about. Timing your fence project around San Diego's actual weather, not just your personal calendar, is the literal difference between a smooth install and one that gets delayed twice. You've got the insider playbook on rain, wind, and demand now. So the question is, are you going to let hidden microseasons trap your yard in a muddy, delayed nightmare? Or are you going to use this intel to build exactly on your own terms? Plan ahead, take control, and get that perfect fence built right.